Malaysia has a rich history that includes wonderful traditional buildings, rural crafts, a wide range of festivals, and delicious food. Beautiful beaches and some of the oldest tropical rainforests in the world are just two examples of the breathtaking natural wonders to see. Now, let's dive into the 22 best things to do in Malaysia. The Perhentian Islands off the east coast. This well-liked set of islands offers stunning beaches, excellent snorkeling, and lodging options for every price. Perhentian Besar and Perhentian Kessel are the two islands that are included in the name Perhentian Islands or Pulau Perhentian. Despite being created for tourism, both are classic tropical paradises that continue to hold a lot of appeal. Fantastic sandy beaches, excellent diving and snorkeling, and other necessities for any dream island vacation are all present. There are walking pathways on the interior hills of both islands, which are covered in vegetation. There are chances to see flying foxes, monkeys, and monitor lizards here. On top of all of this is a delightfully relaxed atmosphere that makes it hard to leave. Explore Malaysia's traditional crafts from Batik and Songket or brocade, to rattan baskets and labu, gourd-shaped ceramic jugs. Malaysia is home to a diverse array of crafts. Using a pen or a copper stamp, heated wax is applied to a piece of fabric to create batik cloth. Wax resists the dye when the cloth is colored, creating a pattern that can be repeated repeatedly to add more colors. Originally used to adorn the early sultans' palaces and public structures, woodcarving techniques are now utilized to create less exotic items like mirror frames. Nonetheless, monuments and masks made by the Orang Asli can still be seen. Orang Asli artists, who are animists, base their images on the natural environment, including fish, plants, and animals, as well as more abstract elements like fire and water. Taman Negara National Park. One of the oldest rainforests in the world is Taman Negara, Malaysia's top national park. Treetop walks, excellent hides for observing wildlife, and hour-long to week-long treks may all be found here. The national park headquarters and the best of its visitor amenities are located in Kuala Tahan, the town that serves as the primary entry point to Taman Negara before crossing the Tembeling River and entering the forest. It's also a good idea to obtain your bearings and ask for guidance. One of the well-marked pathways leads to a well-liked canopy walkway via a short boardwalk walk. For more experienced hikers, there are additional daily and weekly hikes available here. Sungai Kinabatangan. Along this magnificent river, take a cruise through the virgin jungle and occasionally see orangutans and proboscis monkeys. Southeast of Sandakan Bay, the Kinabatangan River, Sabah's longest watercourse, reaches the Sulu Sea after a 560-kilometer voyage. Although the ecosystem of the river has been impacted by logging upstream, the Lower Kinabatangan Wildlife Sanctuary provides some of the best wildlife viewing possibilities in the state. Some travel operators provide day trips from Sandakan and Sepalok, although they usually only offer one river ride with meals in between. To get an evening and the morning crack at the river or a trek, it is much better to reserve at least a one-night package. Shop in Kuala Lumpur. One of the finest things to do in Malaysia, according to both locals and visitors, is to stroll down the Bukit Bintang in Kuala Lumpur, which is the wide boulevard on either side of Jalan Bukit Bintang. There are a ton of people there all day long. With so many multinational chains and designer stores, the enormous, ultra-modern civilian KL Mall has something for everyone. Cheap clothes stores and royal palms line the southwest end of Jalan Bukit Bintang. The area around Lot 10 is now a parade of sleek, bustling stores and cafes. Georgetown. Isabella Bird, a renowned Victorian traveller, described Georgetown as a brilliant place under a brilliant sky when she visited in 1879. The northeastern section of the island is where Georgetown Centre is situated. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, this charming location is well worth a visit. Shop houses in varying states of condition flank this unexpectedly harmonious labyrinth of alleyways. There are several religious structures and striking clan connections or kongsi scattered around the area. Singapore is clearly comparable, yet it seems as though the same ingredients have produced a much more subdued dish without the slickness, throngs, and constant noise of its erstwhile Strait settlements counterpart. Witness the Proboscis Monkey. Bako National Park occupies a second peninsula to the east of the Santubong Peninsula. Its location at the Bako River's mouth gives it its name. One of the top activities for nature enthusiasts in Malaysia is to visit Sarawak's oldest national park. Bako's rugged outcrops and coastal vegetation, which you see when you arrive by boat, don't even begin to convey its wealth. Proboscis monkeys are the most popular species among tourists. Though silver-leaf monkeys are typically more difficult to see, there is a good probability of encountering them close to the park headquarters. Music Festival in the Rainforest. The yearly Rainforest Music Festival has taken place in the Sarawak Cultural Village since 1998. For a significant world music festival, it would be difficult to find a more fitting and memorable location. The stages are close to the village's lovely tribal dwellings, and Mount Santubong makes the ideal background. The chance to see native Bornean musicians makes the event, which draws performers from all over the world, well worth the trip. Even Sarawakian youngsters who live in cities may find some of them distinctly foreign, let alone viewers from other places. Melaka, the city's intricate historical legacy, is reflected in its Peranakan ancestral dwellings as well as Portuguese, Dutch, and British structures. The impact of Melaka was already felt outside of the peninsula when Penang was just known for its oysters and Singapore was merely a fishing town. Under the aegis of the Melaka Sultanate, political and cultural life flourished in this trading hub. This was established at the beginning of the 15th century and contributed to the definition of Malay identity. Dutch Square, which is dominated by the statues, is the center of Melaka's colonial district. Beyond it are several museums and Bukit St. Paul, often known as St. Paul's Hill. One of the city's oldest remaining areas is the square. Partake in one of Malaysia's most challenging climbs at Mount Kinabalu from the top of the tallest mountain in Southeast Asia. Observe the dawn over Borneo. Respect is due to Kinabalu. The weather can be quite cold and windy at the top, and you should be aware of the possibility of cramping and altitude sickness. You definitely don't want to spend hours being carried down by porters because you twisted your ankle high up, so be careful as you go. However, don't overthink the task. Anyone with a reasonable level of fitness can climb this mountain. Since the Kinabalu earthquake, the Timpohon Trail has been the sole accessible path up. Although you can leave KK for the park the morning of your climb, it is much more relaxing to spend the night before. Explore Cameron Highlands' cool mountain air, misty tea estates, afternoon tea, and jungle walks. The Cameron Highlands, located on the western outskirts of Pahang State, are named for colonial surveyor William Cameron. Tea plantations were established by affluent landowners, Chinese vegetable growers, and Indian planters who came looking for a weekend getaway. One of Malaysia's most well-known tourist destinations is still the Camerons. Don't expect the bucolic paradise shown in the brochures, though. This is a significant agro-industrial region that produces fruit, vegetables, flowers, and tea. Explore Gunung Mulu National Park. A UNESCO World Heritage Site and Sarawak's premier national park, gets its name from the 2,376-meter-tall peak at its center. Trekkers that ascend Gunung Api are rewarded with a breathtaking view of craggy limestone peaks. Furthermore, a wide variety of wildlife may be found in the park, flourishing in its deep caverns. But the park's most famous features are the enormous deer cave and the pinnacles, a group of sharp, 50-meter-tall limestone spikes on top of Mount Api. All year long, visitors swarm to Mulu, the park's colloquial name, to take in the park's amazing cave system and these stunning vistas, which are accessible by a 3-day round-trip hike from the park headquarters. Explore Kelabit Highlands. Along the route, you may come across welcoming tribal villages and enjoy fantastic treks and climbs in these isolated uplands. The Kelabit people have lived on the long, high plateau of the Kelabit Highlands, which is directly adjacent to the Kalimantan border, for hundreds of years. The highlands are still largely untouched, with sporadic wildlife sightings and a cool climate despite logging in the barrio area. By day, the temperature is only a few degrees colder than in Miri. As a result, the area is a popular walking destination and is conveniently airborne, with MA swings serving a number of the settlements. Trek through thick woods and take a leisurely stroll past charming tea plantations. Relax on gorgeous beaches and observe elephants in the wild. Take advantage of this wonderful excursion to see massive holy monuments and much more. Explore Langkawi. Located near the Thai border, these west coast islands are essentially a collection of opulent resorts on breathtaking beaches. The largest of these group of largely uninhabited islands is Langkawi's, which is located 30 kilometers offshore. The island, which was once a pirate refuge, is now home to some of the most expensive resorts in the nation, which capitalize on some of the greatest beaches on the west coast. International yachties also favor the island because of its reasonably priced marinas. There are many activities available besides relaxing on the beach. We recommend scuba diving, snorkeling, or a mangrove cruise at the southern Pulau Marine Park after seeing sea eagles. Petronas Tower. The Petronas Tower's twin columns, which stand 451 meters above KL's downtown area and dominate the massive Suria KLCC Mall at their base, are a quintessential representation of modern Malaysia. The highest structures in the world between 1998 and 2004 are no longer even the tallest structures in Kuala Lumpur. The distinctive 8-pointed cross-sectional profile clearly references Islamic art, even though it has a distinct Art Deco vibe. The inner wall's abundance of squares and circles represents strength and harmony. A Japanese crew constructed one tower, while Korean opponents constructed the other. Though not nearly as good as those from the 86th floor observation deck, the views of KL's sprawl from the skybridge are nevertheless rather amazing, thanks in part to the blue, glassy towers that soar on either side of you. Enjoy Malaysia's delicious cuisines. Trying the native cuisine is one of the best things to do in Malaysia. Stalls, which are often wooden pushcarts by the side of the road with a few shaky tables and chairs, serve some of the tastiest and least expensive specialties in Malaysia. These stands offer delectable noodles, snacks, and sweets. Most either specialize on particular cuisines, such squid curry or oyster omelets, or provide one or a few standard rice and noodle dishes. A large number of booths are arranged in food courts, also known as Medan Selera, which translates to Appetite Square. Go scuba diving at Pulau Sipadan off the southeast coast of Sabah are two marine parks. Sipadan Island is the most well known. For seasoned divers, visiting this park is among the top things to do in Malaysia. Jacques Cousteau declared this park to be an untouched piece of art. With its seas brimming with sharks, barracudas, turtles, moray eels, and enormous schools of vibrant tropical fish, Sipadan Island is truly amazing. Even the rare pilot whale and dolphin can be seen. This coral's diversity is similar to that of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Since Sipadan only has 120 visitor permits available each day, it's probable that you and your dive operator will spend a day here before touring some of the neighboring islands. View longhouses in Sarawak. Members of indigenous tribes live in large communal homes beside rivers and in isolated mountainous areas. The main reason for anyone traveling between western and central Sarawak to miss the quick Kuching Cebu boat is the Iban longhouses of the Eye headwaters. Even though the longhouses are popular tourist destinations, they provide a window into the semi-traditional way of life that formerly prevailed in this isolated region of the state. These places are safeguarded as animal sanctuaries and national parks. Unfortunately, the majority of residents now choose to live closer to the road, and many of the longhouses and villages you will see are only inhabited while tourists are there. Batu Caves. The Batu Caves are located in the Gombak area, where wooded limestone thumbs protrude from a steep crest on the northern fringe of Greater Kuala Lumpur. Local Indian leaders persuaded the British government in 1891 that the caverns were perfect for devotion, most likely due to their resemblance to the Holy Himalayas. When you get to the location, you can't help but notice the enormous golden statue of Lord Murugan, the Hindu god of war, and the enormous staircase that leads up into the limestone crags. At ground level are several smaller temples. The majority of tourists, however, ascend the 272 stairs directly to the caves, stopping only to take a breather or snap pictures of the roving macaques. Explore Tunku Abdul Rahman National Park. Tunku Abdul Rahman Park, named for Malaysia's first Prime Minister, is made up of 5 islands that symbolize the Crocker Mountains' furthest westward ripples. Within 8 kilometers of Kota Kinabalu are their beaches, forests, and coral reefs. There are options for diving, snorkeling, water sports, and other uncommon pursuits. The park is so popular that it is frequently overrun, especially on Manukan Island. This does not imply that you cannot have a pleasant day trip on a single island or, as many do, on 2 islands in the morning and afternoon. But unless you spend the night at one of the park's upscale resorts, don't anticipate complete peace. Regular boats only serve the islands of Sapi and Mamatik, excluding Manukan. Langkawi Cable Car. Mount Chang is one of the low peaks of mixed sandstone and shale that dominate the largely unspoiled rainforest in the northwest of Langkawi. The stunning Langkawi Cable Car ascends the mountain from the tourist trap theme park Oriental Village at its base. The ride has the largest free span for a mono cable car and the steepest of its kind, with an angle of 42 degrees. Package bundles that include admission to the other unreliable attractions in the Oriental Village are offered for return journeys. The 3D Art Museum, dinosaur-themed tram simulator Skyrex, and 360-degree 3D movie theater Skydome are all located here. For sweeping vistas of the Broccoli Head rainforest beneath your feet, you can also take a glass-bottomed gondola ride. Go, island hopping. One of the greatest things to do in Malaysian Borneo is island hopping, particularly in Sabah, where visitors may explore the breathtaking islands that encircle the province. Gaya Island, which is located off the shore of Kota Kinabalu, is one of the must-see islands here. Gaya is not included on typical island hopping routes, despite being the nearest island to Kota Kinabalu. Travelers can ask to be dropped off across the channel by taking any boat to Neva Sapi. If you do make it over, you'll find beautiful beaches like Police Bay Beach and jungle paths where you may spot hornbills and proboscis monkeys. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching my video. If you're interested in more content about travel in Southeast Asia, please subscribe and give a like.